Welcome back to Metro Matters. For the first time in our city's history, medical students are becoming doctors in downtown Phoenix, thanks to the University of Arizona College of Medicine. And now the campus has opened its latest new facility. Here with more is Dr. Stuart Flynn, Dean of the college. Welcome, Dr. Flynn.
Thank you.
So very exciting. You're almost doubling your students, right?
We are almost doubling our students. We have a little more growth to do over a few years, and exciting is maybe an understatement how profound this all is.
And exciting for the entire state, really.
Boy, I sure hope so, because this is a solution to something that is becoming very problematic for the state, and that is a physician shortage.
Let's talk about that. Why did Arizona fall behind in attracting physicians to the state?
I think it's multiple reasons. One is it was a small number of physicians the state was producing. Secondly, it has relatively small postgraduate training sites, residents where graduates do their residency program. And then lastly, growing state, aging state. So all three of those vectors have really come almost into crisis mode now for the state.
So let's assume you fix the front end, getting more doctors into the system. Yep. What do you do about the resident training?
The resident training needs to change dramatically, and we've had several discussions with different affiliates and the like. We are right now, just to be at the national average of physicians in the state, we're 850 residency slots short. These are very expensive. They're funded by Medicare and Medicaid right now, which is not going to be sustainable. So we have to figure out a way how to not only train, as you said at the front end, new graduates, physicians, but then keep them in the state. Otherwise, we're going to become an exporter of very talented and qualified physicians. We're going to send them out of state to do their residency, and we know when we do that, we only get 25% of them to come back.
And that's an interesting statistic, by the way. With regard to the hospitals that we see every day in our community, do each of those hospitals actually train residents?
The big hospitals do. So Phoenix Children's has excellent training for pediatricians. Banner, Maricopa, Banner Good Sam, Maricopa, and St. Joe's all have residency training programs. Phoenix Baptist has a single training program. And then Tucson has very well established, very high quality training programs also.
So the issue isn't necessarily adding new hospitals with resident training, it's actually beefing up the resident training at the existing hospitals.
Well, it's interesting. The hospitals that have training programs right now are pretty much maxed out, because the training isn't just putting more bodies in. You have to have the faculty to teach them, and you have to have the facilities, and you have to have the patient base. So quite honestly, the solution is going to be finding new hospitals that don't already have significant training programs and grow them in those places.
Over the past couple of years or several years, we've seen the growth of the U of A medical school. We've seen two new private medical schools or osteopathic schools, correct?
Yes.
Do all of those students, what percentage of those students actually stay in the state then, taking all of those together?
Well, I believe, and I don't want to speak for the osteopathic schools, but their students tend to go nationally as opposed to a large cohort staying here. We kept in our last graduating class, I believe, 53% of our graduates in state, which is really, really a huge success from my point of view. If we grow residency training programs, we make them of high competitive caliber, we will keep a greater percentage of our graduates in state. And we know when we keep them in state, we're much better than the national average of having them stay here and practice. It's around 70 to 80% when they train here, they stay here. It's a nice state to live in. So that's what we need. And that really truly is kind of a public medical school outcome and mindset. The private schools have a different outcome.
Okay. So now when I look at the Midwest and I see University of Minnesota, they have a large residency program.
Correct.
How is it how do we compare, how do we stack up to what I would consider smaller states at this point, but who seem to be perhaps producing more doctors?
I think with the Phoenix campus and the other schools in the state, I think we're starting to put out an appropriate number at the beginning of the pipeline. I really think, and we kind of knew this right from the beginning. I've been here 6 years, and it was apparent as soon as I started looking here. The issue was increasing the number of physicians, but the next was being able to train them after they graduated. So I think, and if you look at the University of Minnesota, you look at my alma mater, the University of Michigan, you will have very large residency training programs that are nationally competitive. They attract applicants from across the nation. So they not only have size in numbers, they also have stature and quality. And so those young people who stay in the state kind of have been funneled into being high quality individuals.
Good information to have, Dr. Flynn. Thank you. Dean of the Medical School, we appreciate everything you do and keep up the great growth.
Thank you.
Thanks. Coming up next, puppy love gets a whole new meaning. Keep watching Metro Matters.